Jacob. So
this dude showing up with a freaking 10
There's
ton.
so much, and even if we had more, I don't think it.
oh my god.
Vaughn getting just does a burn.
No, that is that
Oh,
Vaughn?
no, I like this.
You also have gigantic hands.
in that car right now. We didn't fly all the ways here to watch you walk around in a sling.
You love it. I love it. A whole bunch of other people love it. My grandma loves it. My mom loves it. My wife keeps stealing it all the time. What am I talking about? FD merch. I get it. It's gone. Somebody takes it from me. It's like I never even owned it. Believe it or not, 20% of all the FD merch I own has vanished. Just like you saving 20%. It's like it's vanishing. 20% of the cost of your FD merch vanishing. All you got to do, use podcast 25 at checkout. It's like magic. Podcast 25 at checkout, save 20%. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Outer Zone, the official podcast of Formula Drift. My name is Jacob Gettens, and we have Mr. Tommy Lemaire. My French is still terrible, but I keep trying to. I'd like to say I'm trying to improve it, but I haven't worked on it in forever. But what's going on, sir? How you been?
I've been good, thank you, man. Thanks for the invite and end of the season, so everything goes down a little bit, you know. But even if we go back to home and like try to focus, you know, on the business, on work, it's not time to stop, you know. It's just time to do some filming. So I have some filming that's gonna happen next week with some sponsors, so we can wrap up the season the right way. And after that, it's tear down. And I have already a long list of new things I want to improve on the car. So it's nonstop.
That's good. That's good. Do you make that list throughout the entire year? Is it like as you're doing stuff, you're like, this is a pain in the ass, we should make this easier to get to, or something along those lines? Yeah,
most of the things, every race we took note. We fixed it before the following round, but there is some stuff that we were able to fix it. So those things are still on the paper and the notebook, and those things are probably like bigger things that we need to improve for the off season, and more like custom made stuff, and that's what we're gonna work on.
Yeah, it's fair. The big stuff where you're like, I would love to do this, but it's gonna require us taking out like half the cockpit to get to, and things along those lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything that like is really bugging you about the car right now? Like, I want to say the car, phenomenal. Rocky start, but once you guys had that sorted and you weren't blowing an engine, every couple of laps, it is phenomenal. But is there anything that you're like that's kind of top of mind to change out on it?
Oh yeah, 100%. The biggest things that we want to change on the car is the fact that it is still twitchy, because the Corvette and probably more the C7, but also the C6. But other drivers worked on that very well. But the C7, nobody really did it, and it's a lapping car. It's a race car, so it has a lot of front grip, and it's very sensitive. So as soon as you do a little movement with the steering wheel, you can see the big correction from outside of the car, like from your side or for the judge side. So what I want to do is make the car less twitchy and probably remove some front grip, so we're gonna look better on the track. Because with my S14, like last year and the previous year, I could like do big correction and it's almost not noticeable. And now you do a little movement and it looks like you're struggling with your car. But that being said, it probably gives me more performance when I can make it right. So if the car doesn't look twitchy, it's going to be faster, it's going to be quicker, and it's going to be more on the door of the leader.
Yeah, it's interesting how drivers have like changed a lot of things to make corrections less noticeable. Like I remember, I think I mentioned, I think it was Stookie or something had like white gloves. And I was like, I wouldn't wear white gloves. I would wear black gloves. So that way, like you can't see anything, right? Like even if you're just making these small adjustments, you don't know what's going to go through the heads of the judges if that's going to be the one thing that's the deciding factor, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like at the end, it's still a judge sport, so we gotta take all those little things in consideration. And I'm a big like white suit guy, you know it.
I know.
I always had like white suits and stuff like this. But this year, I don't know if you noticed, but I have my white suit here. But my gloves are now D&D black gloves. And
interesting.
That's one of the reasons, yeah.
Okay. So you've thought about it too then. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I do like the white suit though. It's just a bold move. Like, I mean, it is funny that like your family business is like generally a very dirty one. So then you're like, okay, if I'm racing though, I want a white suit. I want to look as clean as possible.
Yeah, the contrast is really, really big and really funny too. Cause like I'm working and I'm all dirty, you know, smell bad and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we go to the racetrack and I'm trying to keep my race suit clean, trying to keep the car always clean. Like when I had the S14, we ran the white wheels, and it was like almost like a obsession. You know, I always wanted my wheels to be really clean. So, but no, that's another thing. We did change the wheels. We kept my fast wheel, the FC04, because they are so good, so lightweight, and we can go really low on tire pressure without debeating. But we did switch for the metal gray because of that for the judges.
Interesting. And then what? Then did you just run like black stripes on the wheels? Then I can't remember.
It's chrome purple.
Oh, okay. So still kind of dark, but like more or less within the rules, but leaning towards like, let's make it a little bit more difficult. That's smart, dude. I like that.
Well, it's pro, and I've noticed like how crazy the step is, how big the step is. So all those little details, you gotta make something about it. You cannot leave it in the judge's hands.
Yeah. Was it as big of a step as what you thought it was going to be? Was it bigger? Was it on par?
I think, I knew that, but I think the fact that I did switch chassis for a totally new chassis was making my life harder. But I knew that. I was up for the challenge, and I did it, and I'm really proud of it. But if I would have stayed with the S14, it would have probably smoothened the process. Now I took it the hard way.
I mean, I think if you stuck with that or either drove an E36, you probably would have been fine because you looked good in that in Long Beach as well.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a crazy start. And, you know, like just changing for the Corvette, the whole purpose of that, yes, it was for like developing a relationship, being more unique, but like it was to make a statement, you know, being really different. And just the fact that thanks to Rome again for letting me use his E36. It was a crazy statement. It was just like, all right, we blew an engine, we don't give up, we jump in another car, low horsepower car, and we just send it. And that's my mentality. You know, I never give up.
Do you think being like behind like that helped in that situation, or even all season, where like when you're the person trying to fight to gain those ranks, it like is a bit more of a motivation?
Like I'm not really stressed. So even when I was like a top tier and like pro spec, it was the same mentality as being a rookie in pro. I'm just going all out on 100%, and I try just to do the max. Like even if I'm last, so that doesn't really change my way of driving.
Okay, that's good though. I mean, I'm sure that takes a little bit of weight off you to just know this is how I'm always driving, no matter where I'm situated. Yeah,
exactly. The one of the things, like especially the last round, because we just came back from Long Beach, the final. I felt like I needed to do a little bit more than my 100%, because I was against like the best of the best. You know, I started in top 32 OD back cheese one more time. I knew I needed to clean my chase, so that's what I did. I cleaned the chase, and in the lead, well, you know what happened. We got pushed a little bit because we're always pushing the limit, and we hit the wall, got the win. But in 16 with Dean, I knew I had to push like more. So once I got my one more time, which I was a little bit surprised, I knew I needed to push a little bit more. But this more, is too much. And that's probably what I learned the most for this round is that if I do a perfect lead and a really good chase, well, I can probably try to improve a little bit the chase. But a really nice lead has to stay a nice lead. You cannot just push more unless you feel that you have more to give, But like I felt like I was at my maximum, and even though I knew that, I still tried to enter a little bit faster just to put on a bigger show, and that's what got me knocked out. And that's, as you said at the mic, that's the difference with a 5-time champ and the guy who is doing his first pro season.
Yeah. I remember you and I talked after the event, and you're a little, I wouldn't say heated, but like, passionate about the whole thing. And you're kind of like, without giving all of it up, you're basically like, I'm very happy not to be a rookie anymore. Like officially no longer a rookie, because now you're like, now it's no longer rookie status. I'm just a driver. So you're kind of hoping, similar with like the wheels and the gloves and everything else, like I don't want the judges thinking about anything other than just my driving.
Yeah, exactly. Because I felt, and that's okay. I'm always positive, but I felt a little bit like it was something that is stuck on us, like the rookie. Probably not Jack, because Jack was not really a rookie to my eye and to nobody's eyes. But like I felt like even if we do a really, really nice lead or chase, it's always gonna go back to like, oh, he's a rookie, so that was probably like a little bit of luck or a little bit of whatever, or we're not really gonna comment about it, and we're gonna comment about what the other guy is doing. So I feel like, well, I'm hoping that not being a rookie anymore will put more attention on just the driving and not like where we come from. I was like, oh, it's his first year. If he does bad, it's normal. It's the first year. But if he does good, well, it's probably luck, and that sucks sometimes.
Interesting. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. I think that's a fair way of looking at it. I think my rebuttal back to it was like, we try to use it to protect in case there is an issue, and it's more about like, if there's a mess up, from our side, it's always difficult to like, how do you talk about someone screwing up, right? It's always easier to find something else to blame, because like you don't want to just be like, well, that person sucks, or that person had a bad corner or something, because like that's just not a good way of displaying it. But it was the first time anybody has brought up that specific point to me, and I think it was a good one, because it's like yeah, just I'm a driver. Let's forget about the rookie part. Let's just focus on the being a driver part.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for judge sports, because I'm coming from like road racing, karting, and in those sports, motorsports, if you're like a 0.1 second faster, well, the timer is gonna tell you. Timer is gonna show it on the paper, black on white, But for the drifting, well, even if you do like a little bit better, well, there's still the human part of it, and like the judging part of it. And I think like if we can be as much equal as possible, that will help for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say that like beating Odi Bakshi's in your I know you don't want to hear the word anymore, but like in your first season, we'll say that, and then going one more time with James Dean, regardless of any other part of the season, is incredible. Like that should show you immediately that like you 100% belong at this caliber. But I know what you're saying. You're like, I didn't come to one more time drivers. I came to beat drivers. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it. Because, it's been a big season, and lots of down. And that's also something I learned. I already learned to lose, but this year it was hard because there was no moment where I said like, oh, I did a podium at this race. It was always, well, I'm going to rely on, I did win my first top 32. That was good. Let's try to do that again. But coming from like, let's say I will compare it to like coming from high school. You're the best in high school. You're the best of your class. You're going to university, and boom, you're with all the best of each high school of the country. So it feels a little bit hard, but at the same time, that's my way of living. I always want to be with the best. And now that I am with all my idols, it's just unreal. It's unreal because now I don't see them as my idol anymore. I see them as my competitor, which is crazy still.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of a trip to be like, okay, this is somebody I've been watching on TV, and now you're like, oh, I'm literally lined up against them, and it's my job to take them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's nuts. I ran into a couple of the DMCC boys in Shoreline, which was super, super cool. I bugged them immediately about more live streams, and I know they've got some stuff in the works now. I've said it time and time again that DMCC produces some of the best drivers nobody's ever heard of because, you know, a lot of drivers don't ever leave Quebec. Do you feel like that series truly does build some of these incredible drivers? Because, like, I think not just you, there's been several drivers that have come out of there that have done really, really well.
Yeah, I do think that DMCC is building like they are building for sure the best drivers of Canada. But yeah, I do think that probably DMCC should try to talk a little bit more with FD to to be more in relationship together, like partnership. Because that's how I got my license. It's not through DMCC. It's with FDF Showdown in 2020.
Yep.
And just by winning this event, I got my license. And it was not in my mind to go in Formula Drift. In my head, it was like probably like too big. But once I got the license, it was like a nice incentive. It was like, hey, you got it. Now just push yourself and go do it. And that's how it started, which is crazy. So I'm pretty sure that if DMCC could find a way to like talk to FD, it will and have a license available, that will help lots of driver like to say, okay, I did win the championship. I'm gonna like try my best to go in pro spec. We have a driver, Gabriel Borivage, who did like lots of DMCC, but now he moved out west. I think he's gonna go back and forth west and east. But like he's really motivated, but for him it's hard because he doesn't know where to go to find his license. He got the big rig, he's ready to drive to Florida. He's ready to drive like anywhere, but like he started like one of the series out west, and I think they cancel or postpone one of the race, so he couldn't get his license. So now he's like always in between. He says, "Oh, what do I do? I want to do it." But it's hard because it's maybe not as available as if you live in the US. So
yeah, no, that's fair. I think there's one licensing spot in Vancouver, but that's kind of it. So,
yeah.
And I mean, there's not just Quebec, but like there's a ton of amazing talent in Ontario. There's a cool group of drivers that are out in Alberta. Sorry, I've been in America too long. I don't know about Manitoba or Saskatchewan, though. I haven't seen any drifting come out of there, but I hope there is.
Well, there was a fan this weekend in Long Beach that came and he says, "Hey, I'm Canadian, just like you." I was like, "Oh, are you from like East, West?" He was like, "I'm from Saskatchewan." I was like, "Oh,
no
wow."
way.
Yeah. I was like, "Is there any drifting over there?" He said, "Not as much as we would like, but
yeah,
no competition."
I have to look into that. That. I mean, like, honestly, there's like no one in Saskatchewan. Like it is there. There's just not a lot of people there. And I mean, I think for any Americans or anybody else around the world listening, they probably have never even heard of it. So it's funny. I met a Pennzoil rep this past weekend, and she's from Newfoundland originally. And I was
nice.
like, oh, that's crazy. She lives in like Tennessee or something now. But I was like, oh, and then we started talking about Newfies and things like that. So yeah, I would love to see more drifting in Canada. I mean, we've produced a lot of great drivers. I think we're in a weird spot with it right now where there's a lot of great drivers. They just have nowhere to go. I mean, a lot of them are heading down to Erie. I know there's quite a few that are competing in Erie, which is good. But I mean, outside of that, like where else do you go, right?
Yeah, exactly. Even for the what's the name in New Jersey, the Gambler. Sorry, the Gambler is a really nice series, but like they don't give any license or passes away. So it's like good for seat time, but not good if you want to push to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe we can convince FD and DMCC. Like, I'm happy to help broker that deal because I think getting one Quebec driver every year to come in would be, I think it would show a lot of people. I think that people would be very shocked at what comes out of there.
Yeah, exactly. And it will be good for the drifting culture too, you know, just for us in Canada. We already see a big growing from like the participant and attendees in the competition, but I think it will even push more the drivers to like go at the racetrack, start competing because we have a big grassroots scene. So if this grassroots scene could start competing, it will be like a crazy amount of drifters that will go on the pro level, even for a small number. You know, we're just like, I don't want to say anything stupid, but I think like 35 million in Canada, something like that. So
I think so.
It's like that big for US.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if DMCC opened that up, I mean, you would have drivers coming out of Canada going over that way, or somebody coming out of Ontario going that way as well. I think you'd probably get a couple of drivers from like Maine in the US coming up, like some of the northeastern states as well coming up to compete in it. So it would only help make DMCC bigger, at least in my opinion.
Exactly.
I think the competition would get better and it would get bigger.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I don't know. Hopefully we convince them. They'll tune in just because you're on. So you know, well, we'll push them to it. And if you guys need any help with it, I mean, hit me up, hit Tommy up. We'll find a way to get you in front of the right people because I would absolutely love to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's your off season look like right now? I mean, you just got back. You said you want to get the rig going, you want to get the car torn down. Now the rig's back. You got to start back into work. I mean, I'm sure the oil side of your work gets very busy right now because there's going to be a ton of tank inspections as people want their first fill of the year. Yeah,
exactly. I gotta say it was crazy just the last week, and especially like while we were at FD in Long Beach. I always kept I must kept my phone open for the business, and like it started to ring crazy, and we lost an employee. So I had to fly back right after the banquet. And thanks to Guillaume and Jaman and my team, they drove back with the rig. So they did like 50 hours of driving almost straight. They're crazy. They are warriors. So they just arrived. Like today they arrived. And but for myself, I had to come back and jump right away into the work and do like big hours. So I'm trying to fix that a little bit because I really don't want to lose my my motivation and the momentum that we got from Long Beach. You know, now we come back from Long Beach, we're like, all right, it feels good. We know what to do on the car, so I want to keep that going and just move on so we can have the car ready as soon as possible. And for sure, I'm gonna go back to US probably end of January or early February to test. Not far from your house, actually.
I was going to say, you're coming to OSW again. Sick.
Yeah, I'm coming back to Orlando. That's for sure.
Dude, come over for a barbecue. I'm like 30 minutes away, so we should. We ran into each other last year a whole bunch when you came down, so we'll get something sorted. Like I said, I'm not far at all.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds good. And this year I also want to do it with other drivers. I already talked to Connor O'Sully. Really good guy, and he says that he's finishing his new build. You know, his E46 with the big engine, so he wants to test it too. So I was like, let's do it together. You know, let's just compare our car, our driving. It's gonna improve both of us really quicker, and it's just gonna be fun.
Yeah, and there's enough drivers down here too. I'm sure if you talk to Dan or, even Denofa, if you're just like, hey, we've rented the track, just come out and, even if you like don't hire him, you just have him come hang out. He will naturally just give advice because he can't not tell people his thoughts and feelings around cars. So
exactly. It was funny because I think he wasn't in Long Beach last weekend.
No.
I'm talking about Denofa. And he sent me a text, when I go against Dean, he was like, dude, good job. It was cool to watch. And that's kind of cool, from the champ, just saying like, it's cool to see you drive, man. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, he's such a great guy. I mean, I can't say enough nice things about Chelsea Denofa. So that's really cool to hear, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to come back in January, so like basically you want to tear down and have this car rebuilt before December, then, like,
yeah,
Jesus,
it's gonna be that. That's why I'm like, I don't want to lose the momentum. It's never stopping. People think that like, we take a break, but the truth is we don't take a break. There's also the PRI, the Performance Racing Industries, that is coming in maybe a month or a little bit more. So I need to get ready for that. I'm already talking to some companies, mostly for renewal, but also some new companies, which is really cool because it's also always nice to have like a newcomer in the game. So it's just gotta stay focused.
That's good. How have you found like partnership stuff this year or like going into next year? Has it been a tougher year, easier year now that you're in pro, or?
It's easier to get nice footage because you do like twice the amount of rounds. So basically with 8 rounds, I also did one DMCC and the LZ World Tour and also the Drift Legends. So that's like, well, Drift Legends was with my practice car, but it's like 10 pro competition level that I did this year with the car. So it's a lot of footage, a lot of pictures, stuff to like nice content. And so I think most of my partners are really, really happy with that because I gave them a lot of content for marketing and stuff like this. I also put like a bigger budget on video, pictures, stuff like this. So every rounds we always have a team to help us with like content, and that makes a big difference. That's something. Yeah. I will have to give advice like somebody that is new, is coming to the sport. I say, I know maybe $1,000 per weekend seems like a lot, but $1,000 like for media, it will be just like the minimum, and it will make a big difference at the end of the season. Your sponsors are really gonna be happy, and when they are happy, it's easier to go for more.
Yeah, that's solid advice. It should be the bare minimum. Like if you don't have it, there's enough media teams and stuff like that too, that like you don't always have to bring your own media guy in. There's, Larry's got a team. There's a few other teams as well. Daily Driver does stuff. There's a few other photographers. It's like you have so many options when it comes to content at FD. So yeah, and it should be a big part of your budget for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going on that, and now that we have like lots of footage, like the off season is still gonna be good because we have like lots of things in the bank, accumulated. Mm-hmm. So when we don't drive anymore, well, I still have some nice stuff to show to the fans, and nice pictures, a nice angle of the car. So yeah, that's cool.
Keeps the post going. Makes you gotta remind people you're still alive and that drifting's still happening. Yeah. So yeah. Do you do any winter drifting, like any ice drifting?
Yeah, so I have my two 350Z built with like big spikes. I want to go drifting, but the thing is, with the climate here in Quebec, it's getting like the worst and worst every winter. So we never know if we're really gonna be able to drive. So I want to also go at Stockholm Lake in Ontario with the FDF guys. I know they have a little bit better weather over there on the lake, so I'm probably gonna go there too. And Jaman, which is living also in Germany, is really wanting me to go ice drifting over there, and that's something I still have on my bucket list. I remember last time we talked on the podcast, I said that I really want to go ice drifting in Europe, so like Norway or something like that. So that's probably something I'm gonna see. I know Stuki is going, so the more we talk about it, the more it's kind of happening. I know you're going to.
hesitantly planning a trip in February. So I can give you the dates, and if you want to come around, there's a concert I really want to see in Oslo. So I want to like fly in, see the concert, and then just like get in a truck and start driving north. So
yeah, it makes a big difference. It's not like driving your competition car, but it's like driving on the sim. And I think it's even a little bit better than driving on a sim because you really get the feel and the sensation that you have in real life, but you just do it on repeat for like 200 laps during one day, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time. How did you find the sim in relation to the Shoreline Showdown track? I've gotten a bit of feedback from drivers. I'm just curious where you're at with it.
I'm still learning with sim drifter.
Okay.
So it's a big learning curve, and I got to put the hours down. But it started to show like half season, just like how comfortable I can be on the sim. Because the first half of the season, I felt like I was doing like everything wrong with the sim, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's getting better. So when they put out the link for with the Drift HQ, I started doing some lap, and after probably I would say like 2 or 3 hours of sim, I started to be able to link the track, which is crazy because, you know, in real life, like we did link the track after probably 1 or 2 laps. But
I was just gonna say pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, otherwise you're done with your car. But after a couple of hours, it started to feel good. It felt a little bit shorter on the sim. For the transition, it felt like I needed to do the transition really quick. When in real life, it was really narrow with the walls, but going from like outer 2 to outer 3, you had quite some time. You know, it was not like crazy like on the sim. But these things are getting so real. It's just awesome. And I saw like what Iroya said about like doing 5,000 laps, and I'm like, yeah, that shows in real life.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think somebody did the math and was basically like it was 50 hours of driving he would have done.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, I wish I could do that, but you know what? I got the sim right there thanks to Advanced Sim. It's an awesome setup. I can put some hours, but probably like 1 hour and a half per day will be the maximum I can put on the sim.
Yeah, it's definitely different. You work full time, and Manoa's, I mean, he's a teenager, and you know, there's a little bit more free time when you don't have a full time job. So I get it.
Yeah, that's awesome too.
Yeah, I think we're all just jealous is what it is to have that much free time to just be able to drive sim.
Yeah, no, I mean that's really cool. If I was 14 doing 15 now, I think, doing what he's doing, it's just awesome. I remember when I was his age, it was kind of the same thing, but with karting. We were going at the racetrack like 3 times a week, always like putting as many laps as possible on the racetrack in Saint-Hilaire here. And I see him and I'm like, wow, it's going to be crazy when it's going to be 25, 26.
Yeah, it'll be wild. It'll definitely be wild. It's definitely a new generation. Like it feels very different with him. But I mean, we have a lot of young drivers in general. Even, you know, yourself, Connor O'Sullivan's not that old. Like you guys are still, in the grand scheme of things, fairly young in your career. So, you know, I think I said this before that like our rookie pool this year was phenomenal. Like one of the best rookie pools we've ever had in this, and like excluding Jack. Let's just like rookie only on you know legality. That's it. Between you, Connor, and Amada had kind of a rough season, but like either way, he still had a pretty good season. There's rookies who come in that like don't win anything, you know, don't even qualify or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, you sitting 20th, Connor sitting in 15th, like that's phenomenal to even break the top 20.
Yeah, thanks. And one thing I really admire too is that like Matt Mara, even if he had a rough season, he showed up to like every round. He did his laps, he did his time, and that's just crazy, and that's something I really respect, because some drivers, they won't make the jump, and this is one of the big difference in like going into pro and not going pro. It's just being willing to do the sacrifice, and Mara did the sacrifice, and that's just really, really respectable.
Yeah, there are a lot of, unfortunately, drivers that'll make the jump and like do 3 rounds, feel overwhelmed, and then you never see them again. And it's like, there's I 100% agree. Like, everybody has rough seasons, right? Like, Odie had a rough season by his standards. Like, Forsberg did not have a great season by his standards, but like, you're going to have those seasons. And for some drivers, that's like not making the top 10. Some it's not making the top 30. But it's still showing up. That's the big difference.
Yeah, exactly. I want to give a shout out to Ryan Littoral, because I remember last winter he did a comment. He said like, dude, like it's cool to say you're gonna go pro, but you gotta do 8 rounds. You gotta commit for real. And he almost said it like, I dare you. And today, man, Ryan, I did all 8 rounds, even after blowing like 3 engines. And I was at the final round, so I'm really proud of it. Just that is a big achievement for me to have being able to do it the whole season.
I'll make sure to mention that to him, because he's up next on my guest list, so that'll fit perfectly.
Nice.
That'll fit perfectly. Do you what can you say about the blown up engines? Because obviously, nightmare start to pro, where it's just like everything looks good, one of the best sounding cars on track, and then it was just engine after engine. Did you guys ever figure out what the problem was?
We never figured out what the problem was, but we did some change on on who's building the engine, and we did talk to Texas Speed, and Texas Speed gave us like a nice recipe, and since that day, everything works really well. So I will say it was probably like bad luck, but we needed to do some change. We did those change, and now the car is running really good. We also developed a really nice product with Magnuson supercharger. We have like a boost controller, electronic boost controller, so now we can control the boost at low RPM. Because in Long Beach, first round, I was making like more than 1,000 torque at 2,700 RPM. So I was just touching the pedal, The Nova came to help us set up the car, and was like, this car must be so hard to drive, You're just touching the pedal, and it goes like, bam, 7,000 RPM, and you're blowing the tires. So that change also helped us a lot to control the car and also save the engine, because those poor connecting rods don't like the shock,
Yeah, they never had a chance, let's be honest. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do you just run basically a small pulley, and then you just have a bleeder that's built into it to get rid of boost?
Yeah, exactly. So now we really control it to be able to make around 930 wheel torque at 34 RPM. 3,400 RPM instead of 27. Okay. So like I have a little bit more time, and when I put my third gear and fourth gear, when I accelerate in the straight, I can really like have kind of not a traction control, but just feeling more like the grip on the ground, a little bit like when I drove Rome's car. It was a low horsepower car, and it's a boost with a turbo, so I was really feeling the grip with the car. And when I was at the end of the gear, I was like, oh my god, this is really fast, When with my V8, I just put the gear in, and if I just like shake with my foot, it just like blew the tires right away. So now I have more control, and I think it makes the car also faster.
I'm sure it'd be great for like the rain as well, because you could just basically turn off the boost and just run it at pretty much NA.
Yeah, exactly. What's really cool also with the we are running all the Link ECU products, and I can just I have it set up on my keyboard. I can just press one button, and it goes in rain mode. So it goes down to like a 680 wheel horsepower to the wheel. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I wonder if you could like do that on a patchy track, just like you're hitting the button on and off. So like when you're, like in Atlanta where it's wet at the bottom of the hill, but then dries up in the keyhole, you can just like flip that over. I wonder if anybody's ever done that.
Well,
I'm sure they have.
I did try, but I don't really know if it worked. But during Atlanta, we also did the Grid Life event.
Yeah.
So we did the full course, and at one point it was in the rain. So I did try while I was drifting in the big S's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Push the bottom and go back to like full tune. Push the bottom, go back to like the water tune, and it was the rain tune. It was I could see the difference, but since I was always on the same surface, I really couldn't tell like if it's really helping, but I could feel it.
Yeah, it could be something like a button on the shifter or a button on the handbrake or something like that, where it's just like, interesting. That might open up some stuff. I've seen a bunch of like electronic wastegates on Pro Chargers this year, especially. I saw a few of them. So I was like, I was poking around, and like kind of everyone was giving me the same thing. They're like, how nice it is to be able to have no boost on the run-ups. You're not having any wheel spin. And then same thing in the rain, you can cut back the horsepower pretty substantially. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there any other like, whatever you can tell me or want to tell me, is there any other like kind of cool or trick parts in that car where you're like, hey, this is, really fascinating. Like Stuckey's got a heated windshield, so it never fogs. I don't know if you've seen that.
Wow. No, I didn't see that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So like next time you see his car, like I think he's still got it in. They may have removed it, but if you look, you can see very, very fine lines in it. Like I'm talking very, very fine. And they're all small electrical trace lines, so they can heat the windshield. So when it rains, it never fogs.
Yeah, like Tesla or Jaguar or stuff like this,
Yeah.
That's crazy. So it's not a Lexan, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think he's running a glass windshield.
That would be crazy to have this in a Lexan. That's the next level. That's cool.
That'd be sick. But any cool stuff like that?
Well, I think that, like, honestly, the whole car is really, really special. And, I'm still amazed by how we built this car quickly and how good it goes. But, during the year, I did upgrades for some stuff. My roof was still the OEM roof. So we changed that for, we built the mold with custom carbon creation. We made the roof all carbon, saved 12 pounds on that. And after that, I did change also my windshield. I put a Lexan one, so I also saved 7 pounds right there. I was always looking for improvement with that. But something that is really special with this car, and every time I say it, people thinks it's weird, is that we run the E46 BMW steering rack in front.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of European in my car, a little bit of Canadian with me, a little bit of American. There's a little bit of everything. It's like super multicultural. Yeah. But
that's funny. Yeah, I didn't know that E36 rack. Okay.
Yeah, E46, E46 rack.
Or E46.
Yeah. So, but that's something that, like, I can tell you, because anybody that will ask me, I will tell them. I want to find a way to custom build a steering rack that reduce the ratio, so I can, or put more ratio, so I can, when I turn, it's gonna do less movement. Sorry. So, like, instead of doing like total of 3.2 laps with my steering wheel, or 3.2 turns, it's gonna do like 3.6 or 3.5 turns. So it will just allow me to move a little bit more. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna really start searching for. So if anybody know a guy, I will be willing to pay for this part. But
interesting.
The whole Corvette is so cool. Like even the rear suspension, we did a couple of version with the BC coilovers, and the final product is is amazing. Well, I think you saw it on the track. I like to be fast, but also the car helps me to be fast, and this car is delivering the performance. Like for fastness on track, it's crazy. I always have to remove some grip because it's too quick.
Yeah, it definitely is quick. We chatted at Shoreline a little bit just about like the front end, and you were expressing similar things too, where it's super touchy. Like it's just it's pointy. Like if it was a race car, it's got a very pointy front end, and I'm sure from your karting days that's great. Where you're like, okay, I don't mind that, but in drifting, as you talked about that, telegraphing every correction doesn't help. So yeah, a slower rack would definitely help with that. Yeah, because we were talking about like what caster you had set into it and what Ackerman was set into it, and everything just came down to, put in a slower rack and see what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that is crazy with the S14, I would never go on the track with more than 30 psi in my front tires. Otherwise, I would have hit the wall right away, because I always lose the front end. And I remember some footage of my S14 in Atlanta in Prospect. Like at the initiation, all 4 wheels are drifting. It's just how it is. And so with the Corvette, we went up to like 50 psi in the front tires, just to help us reducing the grip and like being more drivable. And it worked. But it's crazy to think that, all right, guys, let's put like 48 psi in the front tires and let's go.
So you were actually trying to get a bit of understeer in the front then.
Yeah, exactly. We did reduce the size too, because my mentality with the S chassis is to go always with bigger tires in the front, so you can keep your front tires right where you want. And I started with 275 out front with the Corvette, went down to 265, went down to 255, and in Long Beach last week we did the competition with 245s. Yeah, crazy.
Well, I guess like I'm trying to wrap my head around why you would want a little bit of understeer in the front. Like, were you just finding that to cut down on how responsive it is, like because those corrections look so violent?
Yeah, exactly. I would say cut down exactly what you said, the correction, and also like with a car, and I'm probably not gonna be liked by the drift world, but I would say with a car in general, you can have like, you have to split your grip like 50-50. You cannot just add more grip and always have more grip like to like more than 100%. You need to stay under 100% or at the limit. So by removing some front grip, I think I'm allowing myself to put more rear grip and still be drivable. And I know it can sounds weird, but the way I see it is the car will like if the front is welded to the ground, the car wants to rotate, always more. But if the fronts are allowing to like push a little bit more, well, I can just be faster that way because we are going sideways. We are not going straight. So that's the way I see it. And obviously I'm French, first of all. So probably the way I explain it, some people will say, what the hell are you talking about? But the way I see it, it's really it's really helping me. And for sure, we saw the result on track, because the car rotates so easily, so quickly that like by removing some front grip, we allow ourselves to have more probably side bite in the rear.
Interesting. No, that's super interesting. Do you think some of that thought and strategy comes out of karting, or like, was it just screwing around and you're like, this actually feels better, like this doesn't feel as knife edge?
I would say I learned a lot with Josiah. Josiah helped me a lot. We worked together a lot to develop the car, make the car faster. And I remember when it clicked, it was back when I had my S14. Yeah, and it was the opposite back at this time. He said, like, if your car, you always put like more grip to the rear tires, but if your front cannot follow, like you will always be limited by your front tires, you know. But
Right.
now I see it the opposite. I see like if you have way too much grip in the front, you are limited by your rear tires. So that's why I'm trying to remove some front grip, so I'm not limited by this. Because if you're like too welded to the ground with your front tires, well, you're losing some time. Because if you can just slide around, slide while you're sideways with your four wheels, just like to go where you want to go. I don't know if it makes sense because I explain it in English
No, I
and
know
I'm
what
like,
you mean.
there is some key words that I'm not right, and probably it's a bit weird. But
No, I get what you mean. I definitely get what you mean by like what you're getting at with it. It's interesting. I've never thought about it that way, where like full grip is 100%. We need to lose some somewhere, and you still want as much forward bite as you can get. And realistically, and what it seems like with that car, when you come off throttle just a bit, as soon as some of that weight shifts forward, that front end bites so quick that like sacrificing a little bit of front grip when the car is in motion is not that big of a deal, because a small lift means it'll transfer to the front and then you can get the car turned in.
exactly. And the Corvette, especially the C7, since they are built for road racing, they have a lot of forward bite, and we are always searching for more side bite. So that's also one of the reasons, because if your front while you're in drifting is like so welded to the ground, well, you don't have side bite, or you have side bite obviously, but you don't. I never have enough for my taste. You know, I always want to go faster, and even last weekend, I was able to gap a little bit Dean in one of the corner, and I was like, that's thanks to the way we set up the car. The car was so fast without compromising on angle, you know, because this car has a ton of angle. It's crazy, even more angle than my S14. Like the angle kit is just like crazy. FDF has really done a nice job with that. So yeah, like if I could find a little bit more side grip, it will help, and probably remove some forward grip just in order to be more drivable. Because right now I think that what makes me not go on like after top 16, it's not the fact that I'm not fast enough. It's the fact that I'm not smooth enough. I'm not in the pocket enough, you know? So that's the way we went for the last round. Even though people were like, your car is fast as hell, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like trying to be a little bit less fast, but more control on my car and more drivable, because it is a really twitchy car to drive.
Yeah. I remember 3 and 4, you're really, really quick through. Like you come off 2 and then you get into the transition, and as soon as the car was rotated around, you're back on and like powered through 3 and 4, where like a lot of guys would float into 3, you know, a little bit of power, maybe float quick into 4 and then dig out from there. But yeah, I do remember that now that you bring it up. Yeah, I think it's always tough, because when you have a car that's that quick in the lead, in the chase, especially on a car that's not as quick, you're always hunting the car, right? Like you're always kind of like in and out, in and out. The upside going against James and Odie is they're both very quick, so you can kind of just be plastered on their door the entire time. But against a slower driver, it's going to be a bit more of a handful.
Yeah, and something that really hits me this season is that with the Corvette, you are sitting 10 inches more back, so more in the rear, and your front bumper, your front end is like 12 inches longer than the S14, like in front of the wheels. So the last 10 years where I was positioning myself in the chase, like it almost became like a nature, you know, it became like robotic. So I did that with the Corvette, and every time my spotter or my teammates or my friends were like, dude, you're like way too inside, like slow, like not slow down, but
come
like
back,
come back a little bit, like don't eat up the guy, don't pass in front of him. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm right where I thought I was gonna be, but I see the video, I'm like, oh yeah, all right, like I need to change the way my position is. Well, I need to change the way I am positioned with the leader car because my position in the car is way more back. So sometimes I almost got to put myself in a situation where I don't see anything in the front because I need to be in the smoke in order to be well placed. And that's big, like big difference, you know, the big learning curve that I had to adapt this summer. But I think I was getting there.
Yeah, because you would have their, let's say your front wheel like kind of on their door. You're basically at the rear tire in driver position then.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So you got to blind yourself a little bit more in the smoke, which is counterintuitive because you're like, oh, I don't want to be in that position. That's not a good spot. You know, it's where you don't trust anything else than faith. But sometimes, well, I guess I got to find the right in between, just the right spot. And I think in Long Beach, the way the track was set up, since it was like sharp turns and quick transition, it helped me a lot to have a better position instead of like Utah, where it's one of my favorite tracks. But for the Corvette, probably the corners were a little bit big. So we needed to change a lot of stuff on the suspension and the angle kit and the grip kit in the rear. Just being able to like be a little bit twitchy and being in the pocket, like being really like in the zone, even when I'm in the chase.
Yeah, and the zones are so long, like especially your first big transition point, like it's so stretched out that if you're in the right spot, you're bathing in smoke for like 2-3 seconds, which I'm sure feels like an eternity. Yeah. So
feels scary.
I can't remember. Do you run closed windows or open windows?
With the S14, I was closed window, but with the Corvette, I am so stubborn on saving weight that I decided to go without a side window.
I wonder if that would help. Like
for big tracks, it will definitely helps. But how many big tracks are we going to?
I don't know. And like, I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about, but like, you know, obviously there's tracks changing.
Yeah,
I think people are like going fully aware with this, but from my understanding, I think we might have 2 more that are going to be like that. So, and I've also heard potentially a 3rd new one. So, and I don't know enough about that one to be like, oh, this could be a big track. But the other 2, like there's going to be 2 or 3 big zones in both of those where I think having Lexan windows and then like a big ass positive pressure fan in the cabin to keep the smoke out would be pretty advantageous. Yeah.
So we definitely, since now we don't have to build a car from scratch, we definitely gonna do those little things, you know, just have the side windows in the trailer in case it's raining. And if we can see that where the speed is high enough and it can make a difference, let's throw them on, you know. It's just those little things that with the experience and with time, we improve. And in just one season, I'm amazed by the amount of improvement we did. So I'm feeling like next year we're going to be even more prepared. And when I'm going to start my practice in Long Beach, first round, the difference from a year ago, like start of 2025, is just going to be like incredible. So I can't wait to redo it again.
Yeah, I'm stoked, dude. Like if this is what you came out with year 1 after replacing several engines, you know, building a new chassis, a chassis that not many people have built, first of all. It's not like you jumped into an S15 or something that's even close or that there's a mile of data on. Like this is all brand new. I mean, that's pretty respectable to say at the absolute least. So it should be good. This episode's really good. I'm just going to remind you, use podcast 25, podcast 25 at checkout when you get FD merch. Save yourself 20%. That's it. Now back. I had an interesting thought because we were talking about fighting through the smoke. There's been some teams that develop aero in the rear to kind of contain smoke. James's car in particular, and almost any car with Lexan windows, I've noticed the smoke seems to sit almost further forward on the car. I don't know why that is. I'm assuming it's because there's like a negative pressure area, pulls that forward. But I would love to know if you could build something for the front of a car to like build an air dam to like push the smoke away when you're in the chase. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Like, I don't know if it would even have to be that big. Like, I think just a fender that has like a little piece of Lexan that's like a plow. So if you're going sideways, it would create like a big area to deflect the smoke over the cabin.
We would have to rent the tunnel, the air tunnel, which is pretty expensive to rent and test out.
I just come to Orlando. You and O'Sully do donuts, and we'll stick big hunks of Lexan to the front of your car and see what works.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit like the just the front like side lights that we saw this year, like those little improvements. Yeah,
the little like the lazy eye lights. I don't know what we call it.
Exactly, those little things. It's just crazy. It makes the sport grow, and we can see that we are looking for ways to improve the driving and improve the performance. And this is what I love. I love that we always are pushing the limits. And like, I'm not gonna say it was in competition or not, but we did go for rear tire pressure at numbers that I didn't even know that were possible to go. And like, I had to change my tire gauge for that. I had to find tire gauge that like the first 5 psi are really defined. Because
interesting.
Because my normal tire gauge is like from 0 to 60 psi, but the first 5 is just a bummer zone. But this bummer zone is what we want to see. It's just crazy. So yeah, I'm just like really happy to be able to be part of this whole thing.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's a testament to the tire and the wheel too. Like the fast building. An incredible wheel to be able to hold that. So
yeah, they are really impressive. I did try other model, even with fast wheel brand, the FC08, the FC04V with a lip on it, and honestly, the FC04 are really the best wheel, and they are a really great partner. I'm with them for like 7 years now, which is crazy. But even if I had like a crazy offer, I wouldn't go somewhere else for a wheel partner, because they allow me to improve myself, and I think together we're making a good team, and the wheel is looking good too.
Yeah, they do make some really nice wheels. Funny enough, there was one of the first wheel sponsors I ever had was Fast Wheels way back in the day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I can't remember what model it was. I'd have to look it up, but it was on my old Miata build, so it's like a 4-lug. It was pretty cool. I'll send you some photos.
Nice.
So yeah. They've supported a lot of Canadian drivers, so it was like always neat to see. Yeah. But yeah, it's small world. Dude, that's crazy. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around you basically just tearing the car down now and being ready for January. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's good though.
You talked about the rear fenders. We're not like making big change like in the way of what you asked for, but we're making some changes for like smoke evacuation and also for tire temperature this winter. So we already talked about it with custom carbon creation, and we're gonna change the rear bumper, fenders, and a little bit of the trunk too. Just being able to like evacuate more heat, so we can reduce the temperature of the tires while we drift, and maybe have like half of a turn more.
Yeah, well, that's where we're at, right? Like I remember Odie cutting notches out of his fenders, and people are like, oh, it's for like the suspension clearance. I'm sure that helps, but I was like, you can see how much smoke comes out of that hole, and the tire temp thing is not something I've actually really put a lot of thought into. That's pretty smart to get get some more airflow onto the tire to keep the temperature stable.
Because lots of people are trying to do let's say holes in the rear bumper to let's say evacuate the heat or the smoke. But the real thing we should ask ourselves is how many air go in to the tire, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what makes the air go out. Is the amount of air that you can put in the tire that goes in, and that's what we're working on. And also we have the tire temp sensor on the car on the 4 wheels, so I can always monitor that while I'm practicing or in the burnout box. Especially the burnout box, it helps me to make sure my tires are at the right temperature when I start. Because the last thing you want is throw initiation with cold tires in the front and hit the wall because of that.
Yeah. Can you talk about what temps you're looking at? Like, I'm obviously infinitely fascinated by the temperatures and stuff. Like, it always makes me. I dig in a lot when like cars have tire fires, right? So like Adam, ton of tire fires. Manoa, ton of tire fires. I'm like, okay, why those vehicles? And now I'm thinking like, is it because they're not bringing enough air to the tire and that whole wheel well is basically turning into an oven?
So I actually experienced a lot of tire fire at the beginning of the year. My car was basically, I don't know if you were there for the LZ World Tour in New Jersey on the road course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like almost every lap, my car was doing a tire fire. We burned the whole carbon Kevlar inside the quarter because of that. And
right.
I was like, that's no good, because when there's a tire fire, you lose some grip on the car, and it unbalances the car when you do the transition especially. So I was like, what is causing that, you know? Is it the heat, as you said? We monitored the temp, the tire temp, and it was not different. Obviously, when the tire is on fire, the tire temp is going like, the sensor is freaking out.
Yeah.
But what we noticed is that the exhaust system was creating like a wave under the car, and when you do backfires with the extra like ethanol that didn't burn that go out of it goes like on the tire, and it creates the fire basically. So we just changed one plate under like the skid plate, but in the skid plate there's a hole to let the exhaust go out. We changed this plate, the layout of how it works, just so we can evacuate more the monoxide or the, let's say, the engine fuel, exhaust, and it stopped right away. So we're like, all right, that's the reason. So I don't know if the guys are keeping it that way so it looks cool or whatever, but probably, for us, that's what changed the whole thing. It's just where the exhaust is going out, the way it is directioned, and also like if it creates a wave that keeps all your exhaust smoke in like the car, well, let's say under the car, that's really no good. That's really, really bad. And as soon as we change that, fix the problem.
Huh, interesting. So it's just like that extra little bit, that whatever, extra 50, 60 degrees, and that little bit of extra fuel was the big thing that ended up causing it. You get one backfire, everything's ready to pop off, and you've just given it a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And our cars, like all the drift cars, are making tons of backfires, you know, which is normal. So it's just like 1 + 1 tire fire.
Yeah, I like that that quickly becomes something to fix, right? Where like you're like, okay, this is clearly an issue. I don't want this problem because the car is stunning, and you don't want it to be burnt up. So yeah, same thing. There's so many aspects that I guess you teams are working on regularly, and like I try to keep up on so much of it, but like to think that you're now at the point where you're like, okay, how much air is coming into the wheel well? How can we increase that to cool off the tires? Like, yeah, as you said, if that's half a lap, that means that's half a lap more grip you could get out of the car, right?
Yeah, or more wheel spin or something like that.
Yeah,
so
or the chase is a little bit better. The lead can go a little bit harder.
Yeah, so all those little things makes the big difference at the end. Because like that's something I always says to the fans. We are all like the best, so it's really gonna come down to the car, the adjustment, the stuff like this. When we started Long Beach, around the final round, I did some major changes on the car because I wanted to test out, and I was supposed to go test in Utah the week before, but I got a nose surgery, so I had to postpone my flight and and take a flight.
It looks great, by the way.
It was not aesthetic. It was for breathing. Come on.
Okay, I don't know. I was like,
it could have been. It could have been.
I don't remember what it looked like before, but it looks fine now.
No, but it was just
French nose.
it was just for breathing better. But I had to say all right, they call me. It's now I go. So I had to postpone my flight, take a flight later. So basically, I did my testing at the first practice in Long Beach, which is never the best thing to do for major changes. So we did those, and I came to a point where I was scared to drive my car.
Sick.
And I went in the pit. I talked to Corner Shannon, Olsen, mechanics, people that I know are always gonna be willing to give me some advice, stuff like this, and I was like, man, I am scared to drive my car. I don't feel safe, and I don't want you to follow me as a chase driver, or I don't want to be chasing you because it is scary. And as soon as we went back to the old setup, boom, back on track. I felt good. I was like, let's put more grip, let's be faster, let's drive more, let's do more chase. So that made me realize how a small difference on the car can change the whole driving style and the whole driver, and it goes into your mind. So that's why I say that those little details are going to make a big difference. And that's why, let's say James Dean is also with RTR, which is probably, let's be honest, the best team in the world. So those two mixed together, it's dangerous. But James Dean in a car that is not reliable, a car that it's not drivable, even if you're the best in the world, it's not gonna pay for the whole season. Probably he's gonna be able to win one event because he's the best, but at the end, if you want to win your championship, you have to have the car that backs you up, and that's what I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to bring my car as close as possible to an S chassis feeling. But with the quickness of the Corvette and the look of the Corvette, and also the setup, the engine package that we have right now, I think now we found the right recipe. We were lost a little bit at the beginning of the season, but at the end of the season, I think we were strong, and the team is also working really hard on the car before the race, and that makes a big difference. If you arrived prepared. Just, the little thing that happened with my nose, I had to postpone my flight. I didn't do my testing. And because of that, I almost thought I was not going to drive well, at this round. And so it's really, really small details that makes a big difference.
Yeah. And the team element, you touched on it there, that, and now that I think back to it, in FD, James has been on two of the most dominant teams ever, right? Vorthaus, RTR. Now, over in Europe, it's him and a couple of friends. So I'm not going to say that the team is what won him those championships, because he's got, I think at Driftmaster, he's got 2 or 3 mechanics. One of them's his brother. Now, his brother is one of the best drifting mechanics in the world. So that also helps. But it shows though that in any of those scenarios, having that team, having people you trust, having people that are knowledgeable is as much to do with winning as a driver who's phenomenal, right? If James was getting bad advice from people, or people who didn't care, or were showing up late or whatever, that's going to have a very different mentality than working with RTR, the team he's got in Europe, or Vorthaus. And I do think there are, without naming names, I'm sure people would love me to though, there are some drivers in FD that just don't have the team. They're a phenomenal driver, we all know it, but they just don't have the team to help them. And, you always hear about the drama, or they're getting rid of somebody, or this guy's a problem. But it's man, just figure that part out because that's the only thing holding you back.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a whole. It's like the whole thing together that makes it work. If you're in like Pro-Am series, you probably can make it work. But when you're in the pro, it's, as I said, it's all the best in the world. So it's what comes to the winning and losing.
Well, it's little stuff too. Like almost any pro team, when the day's done, it's a full nut and bolt check on the car, right? Like it's like, and that's standard. Like that is, and for a lot of teams, it's in between sessions too. Yeah. Like if you do one, if you got an hour break, get under the car, nut and bolt the car. Like make sure everything is tight, make sure everything's good, because a lot of the problems get caught then, as opposed to later on, right? Or like, how often are you guys like changing out spark plugs and spark plug wires?
Spark plugs every race. Spark plug wires, we had a ton of issues at the beginning of the season, and we finally found a way to make custom-made spark plug wires, and now they works really great. So we inspect them, but when they are looking great, we keep them on. But to go on what you said, like I remember in St. Louis, from top 32 to top 16, I did my battle with. So we did the whole like bolts and check before top 32. So I did my top 32, which is one battle. That's it with Brandon Sorensen. And after that, we're still a small team. So I was in charge of like making the food. So I started the barbecue. I was like, all right, let's eat some stuff. And Guillaume and GP in my team, they were like, well, we probably gonna, just inspect the car, And I was like, well, you guys just did it. And they said, well, we're still gonna do it. And I was like, well, that's awesome. That's when you have a really, really devoted team, And they found that my axle, the left axle in the rear, was almost broke.
Wow.
So we changed it and we did top 16 with LZ like nothing happened, with the car. And those little things, it's what makes the big difference. And I couldn't be more grateful to be able to have these guys in the track, because as much as I want to be prepared before the race, if I'm alone at the track, it wouldn't work, and the white suit will be all black. So
that's it's okay. Yeah, I haven't thought of it that way, that like the reason the suit is white is like that you have a team that keeps it white.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. Never would have thought of it that way, but yeah, that makes sense. The team part is so huge. Like I feel like mechanics and crew chiefs and spotters just don't get the amount of praise that they should. Like you drivers get a lot of the attention, and rightfully so, but it's like so much goes on behind the scenes, and like it's such a thankless job. Like all the drivers are appreciative. I know a lot of the fans are too. Like it's always cool when fans come up and know who the mechanics are. That's always cool to me, because I'm like, you're definitely a diehard fan. But yeah, it's just a tough gig, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is tough. It's I want to stay positive and stay in the like happiness, but we had some big lows this summer, because it's so much money, it's so much of your life, and it's like, all right, where am I willing to go? How far am I willing to go? And seems like I'm willing to go really far.
Yeah, that's fair. You mentioned firing up the barbecue. What are you guys eating on a weekend? Like, what's the go-to food for the Lemaire camp?
Well, first of all, before I say that, I'm gonna say thanks to the Sorensen team, because they hooked us up like a couple of times with like amazing food, like kind of food that we have at home, like crazy
great
good
food.
Yeah, like restaurant food, awesome. And Oseli's family, his mother, his dad, they are such a great people. Every time we are pitted together, beside each other, they offer us food. And I mean, like having steaks at the race tracks is awesome.
Their steaks are phenomenal. Like I'll I'll be up in the announcer's booth, and I will see the smoke coming up, and I'll be like, maybe I'll just go wander and see how the O'Sullys are doing. I'm like, oh, you have steak.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just like what makes the whole thing really like a big family, and it makes us feel, like just appreciated at the racetrack. So it's awesome. But for what we eat, it's not as cool, there's always these snack packs at Walmart.
Okay.
So I always go with the snack packs because this is easy to eat. And this year I upgraded for a barbecue because I only had like a panini machine before that. So we were always eating like panini sandwich, which is good for a day. But after like 5 days, 8 times during the summer, it's a little bit much. So now we upgraded. Now we have hamburgers, hot dogs, but it's not as healthy as it should be for what we're doing.
I mean, hamburgers, it's not that bad, all things considered. It's protein, so.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to Jaman, he insisted we upgraded with bacon in the hamburger, in the cheeseburger. That makes the big difference.
Yeah, that's fair. I really think we've got to come down and provide poutine and do like a proper one of these events, and just maybe we'll do it in Orlando. I'll bring like my big smoker out, and we'll do it all there and get a deep fryer going.
Yeah. Poutine will be really cool, even though it's not super healthy for a race weekend. But
just Saturday night though. We're not gonna do it on like Friday. Like we do it at the end of the event. Everyone's packing up. I'll get a fryer going. And we'll just do like a big classic one. Yeah,
that would be great. And I always have some maple syrup on the side,
of course,
for dessert, which is just the best.
Yeah, dude, pancakes. So we did LZ World Tour in Montreal, and we got like a big house with everybody in it. It was like an old school house that they converted into an Airbnb.
Nice.
So I think there was like 15 people in this, and it was great. So the one morning, cooked everyone pancakes and bought like local, like down the road, like proper maple syrup, like from an actual sugar shack. And
nice.
They're like, what have we been eating all these years? I'm like, shit, you've been eating shit. This is what maple syrup actually like. Can you taste the smoke in it? Like, can you taste that there's like ashes fell in this maple syrup? That is the stuff. And like, it was good. It was like a nice, like medium dark, solid maple syrup.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I always love when like fans are supporting us and they buy maple syrup and they're like, let's taste it together, let's do a shot of maple syrup together. I'm like, oh, I'm always in for that. Always in for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. How much do you guys end up making every year? Like, is it a pretty good production?
It's my mom. So my mom is retired, so it's more like a hobby for her. But she made like 35 gallon last winter. Well, last season, and normally it's around between 32 to 35 gallons, which is quite a lot considering like the amount of water you have to boil to have like a little quantity of maple syrup. I think she has somewhere around like 700 or 800 tapped tree. So
holy. Are you guys running? You're not doing buckets on that. That's all lines, right?
Half and half. Yeah.
Half and half. Holy crap. That's a lot of buckets, dude.
She walks a lot.
Yeah, she's probably like jacked. Like your mom could. I mean, you don't need more mechanics. Just get your mom to lift the car up.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's wild. Yeah, that's a lot. When I was a kid, we did like 20 trees, and I remember doing it every day after school, and like hated it then. Couldn't imagine doing like 200, especially like in a fast run in the spring. That's just so much work.
Oh yeah, it's like a nonstop and no night of sleep. Like when she's in the season, it's like 24 hours nonstop. So yeah, but she's having fun. That's cool.
That's good. Do you have like a big boiler set up for that, or are you just using like stovetop pots?
Yeah, she has a nice well set up. My parents live in like a back country, middle of the forest, so everything is like right around the house.
Nice.
I'm more in between. I'm more like I live by the water, but I have neighbors. They don't have neighbors.
Yeah, fair enough. What you don't have to say what street you're on, but like what city or neighborhood are you near?
I live in Sabrevois. And I can say it because, I used to live in Saint-Paul-de-l'Île-aux-Noix. And I remember my first year, Gerald was like, what is that? He was like, is that Saint-Paul of Island of Nuts? Because that's the basically the tradition. When I left for Sabrevois, and I was like, oh, that's good. One less thing to laugh about.
little easier, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like South Shore of Montreal, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. I know roughly where you're at. Okay. That's not too bad of a neighborhood then.
Yeah. As long as I have my garage, which is like way too small for the amount of things I have in, because I have like my practice car, the Corvette, the white one. Plus now I just came back with the competition car, and like when we unload the trailer, it's just like a mess. It's a mess. Like everything is like in the garage and standing outside of the garage, and I always have to play like Tetris in the like at the house, because like I have the trailer to pick up the car, the 350Z. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
What do the neighbors think? Like, what's their perspective on living next to a race car driver?
I think I have to be careful to where I park my stuff, because I tend to use lots of space.
Right.
So I did like put the excavator in my where all the flowers are. I don't know how we call it.
Okay. Garden.
Yeah, the garden. I had to remove the whole garden and replace it with like solid rocks and the asphalt, just to be able to park the trailer at the right place, and like having a little bit more space, because it's a really tight spot. Living by the river, it's everybody wants to live by the river, so everybody is like stacked up, and I have to be have a lot of imagination to be able to fit all my stuff. Yeah.
Damn. I'll have to. You'll have to send me like a photo of what the Tommy Lemaire parking lot looks like right now. I'm sure it's.
What is really fun is that when we removed the garden, that was the main entrance actually, and you have to walk upstairs. So I removed all the stairs. I was like, that's my parking spot for my racing trailer. So now we have the front door that is not accessible at all. It's like that's high. So you will have to jump.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's legitimately funny.
Yeah.
I'm lucky where I'm at now, where I actually had to move my trailer. I have an event this weekend, so I had to like get my car ready to get loaded up and stuff. And I was like looking around, I'm just like parking, like huge front yard. So I'm just like parking cars in the middle of the grass in the middle of the yard. And I'm like, man, this is so much nicer, because my last house was on a very busy road in a subdivision, and I had to like 90-degree cut my trailer into it on it's a through road, so it's busy. And I'd always have my wife having to direct traffic. And it was like, anybody who's backed in a trailer, there's nothing that feels better than one-shotting a trailer into a driveway. Like one take to get it in there. And I fucked it up every time, because I'd freak out. There's people waiting. So there I am, like back and forth, trying to worm the trailer back into the driveway. So now I'm like, I could just literally do a lap around my front yard to move the trailer if I needed to. So great.
Yeah, that's good. Good for axles too, bearings, stuff like this.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's really tough on bearings to like jackknife a trailer.
Yeah, I actually had to do the same thing with my old setup before we canceled and removed the garden. And I was always crying for my trailer. Like, you see the wheels, they are just like twitching like that, and you're like, oh boy. But now I can back up a little bit more straight.
Yeah, that's a lot nicer. I asked Nick Novak on the show I just recorded with him. What's your truck and trailer setup? Like, what are you hauling with?
I have a nice 250 Super Duty Ford pickup truck, and my trailer is a 40-foot gooseneck.
Okay,
it's like an old one, because I had like a brand new trailer, but it was not gooseneck, and it was 30 foot. so it was too small, and I wanted to get bigger, but I didn't have the budget, so I went with an older setup but longer. And I spent all last winter to made it to my taste. So the
Nice.
floor is like all epoxy with flake in it, and
I did that too. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice.
and I choose the flake with the color of my car. So the flake is like blue and red, and there's also like chrome flake. I added 3 different flake in it. Sometimes when I have times, I like to do things like, take time to do things. And I did the walls with like all PVC, no joint walls, so it looks really neat. And
Nice.
and what's funny is that because the trailer is old, it's not that high. So when we drive through USA, like all the way to like California, it's really cheap on gas. It makes a big difference because we don't cut in the wind,
Oh,
if you have like a
interesting.
8-foot tall like inside trailer, well that's like way more stuff that caught in the wind, So now
Yeah.
I'm more like aerodynamic.
What year is the truck?
The truck is 2024, but
Okay.
it's a brand new truck, but the trailer is 2010.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's just there's a fair bit of F-250s and F-350s. Like, I think I'm going to start making this a thing of like asking everybody what their rigs are, because like it's just we don't talk about them, and it's arguably more important than the race car, because if you don't get there, there's no point in having a race car.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That was really important to me to, and that was actually my first brand new vehicle in my life
really?
that I bought. I always had like used car, old
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm going pro. Because when I was in pro spec, I didn't have that at all. I didn't have a truck actually, so I always had a friend that was giving me a ride. It was not the easiest way, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going in pro. I need something reliable. I'm not always gonna be the one driving too. Sometimes it's my team. So I went for a nice F250 with the nice red color, so it fits with the
Okay.
trailer. I like
Yeah.
I like when it's
Yeah, it's good.
It's different.
Did you go dually or single axle?
A single axle. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Nick was saying that he was having issues with wheels cracking because of the weight. Now he might have more weight in the car or in his trailer than you do, because his is taller.
Wheels on the trailer, on the truck.
On the truck, because of the amount of tongue weight or the amount of bed weight that the actual OEM wheels were cracking.
All right, I gotta let them know that I run fast wheel on my truck, so that's
Damn, what
yeah,
a plug.
Yeah, big HD wheel, like 20-inch, minus 44 offset. The setup is wild, actually. Like it pops out like a good, like the American way, like.
Yeah, listen. That's not far off the Quebec way either. I've seen what you guys drive. All the trucks are big. They're all loud. I mean, one of my favorite moments ever was, I think it was Sebastien Gauthier back in like 2018. And he's a loud individual. He likes the attention. He's had neon cars, and they had like a big I think it was a Peterbilt rig. And we were just about to leave Irwindale. The event was over, and Riley and I are standing there, and I was like, "Oh, whose rig is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's Gauthier's." He goes, "Watch this." He's like, "I give him about 2 seconds before he puts on the Jake brake." As soon as he pulls up the intersection, bah, all the way up to
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's like the most Quebec thing I saw in California. It was just like the loudest rig with the most lights on it. It was super cool though.
Oh yeah, he has a pretty nice setups. Like his trucks, like every time he puts a picture of his new setup or stuff, I'm like, wow, this is real cool.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
another
it's,
one is Osali. Osali's truck.
Yeah.
Oof. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Now, are you talking about the motorhome that he's got?
No, the F450.
Oh, yeah. The 450 is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a few pretty sick trucks there. I'm trying to think of who else has got one. I mean, there's a few older Dodges. It seems to be like new Fords or old Dodges are like kind of the two. And then once you start to get into like transports and toter homes and things like that, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's I'm seeing less toter homes than before. I think the fuel economy is so bad on them that people would rather just get a really nice pickup truck. Because like, you know, for the price, like you can, you know, for 120 to 150,000, you can have top of the line pickup truck, and you can't get a used toter home for that price.
Yeah, exactly. And the amount of like blowout tire I've seen on the toter homes and like stackers, it's crazy. So, because you know, in the stackers, you always have to bring a car to go to the hotel or for in the pits or like go at the grocery. So you bring this car, you bring like a side by side or a golf cart, you bring the race car. Some of the guys have like 2 cars sometimes, like Stucky, you know. So it's just like crazy the amount of weight that there's in these setup.
I remember Simon's old setup, which is Odie's setup now. They ran Simon, Jonathan, and Ulla Jäger all out of one truck. And I was like, guys, there's no way this is legal. But I don't know. That's, allegedly. You got to save money somehow. I mean, and those were 3 guys all trying to just band together. But I remember seeing like how full that rig was. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
3 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, it's funny because and no disrespect to the ones who doesn't have to take care of that. That's awesome. But there's some drivers that like really don't have to worry about those things. You know, they just get there, they drive, and that's it. And that's the dream. So no jealousy. It's just really cool. But there's the other side where these things are taking like the rest of our time, you know, all the space. It's always thinking about, all right, what could I do? Could I get a better awning? Could I get a better pit cart? You know, now I run, I did my season with like pack outs, like Milwaukee pack outs toolbox. And all year long, I saw the other setups. I'm like, all right, I gotta buy a real pit cart. So that's the next setup. I just got it from a friend that does a NASCAR Canadian Series here, and
cool.
they all have like big setups for pit carts. So he sold me an old setup of that he had, and that's the next thing, you know. So now I'm just like trying to focus on like, all right, what can I make to be faster when we need the spare parts? What can I make to be more efficient? So those things, it's what makes the Formula Drift Pro Series like your whole life, because everything turn around that.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And like, I'm someone I really like organization, although my desk is not super organized right now. I've been into like 3D printing for a long time, and there's a system. Actually, I've got one on my desk right now. There's a system that is really big in 3D printing called multi-board. I don't know how much of this stuff you're into, but probably none. But
we have the 3D printed lights on the Corvette, so it's kind of cool.
Oh right, yeah. So this is like a octagon style board. This is printed out of what's called ASA, which is like crazy strong. But like you can basically, like it's probably hard to tell on camera, but like it's got screw-in attachments, hooks. Like think of it like a pegboard, but you can also screw into it. It has like quick snaps. You can build like little drawers that like lock into it. So that's been my side project, is getting my trailer ready to go with a system like this. So because I don't want to buy a second set of tools for my trailer. I just want to be able to go in, take like a tool bag, hang a tool bag up, you know, put my ratchets in, and then be good to go, or whatever, leaf blower. I want it all up on the wall, because it's like, I hate having shit on the floor in a trailer. I like having just the car. Everything else should be hung up or stored somewhere else. So I get it. I totally get it. When you get like a good organizational system down, it's so nice.
It changed your life. It just makes everything so easy, you know. Now we're like in the hot pits at FD, and I look and I'm like, it looks like we are all over the place. Even though like the pack outs that we have, they are well organized, it's still a lot of stuff to bring, you know. And I see like the nice pit cart that pulls behind the truck or the golf cart. I'm like, that's the thing. So, so next year, that's another thing we're gonna have improved. And
Good.
And I think it's all those little things.
Yeah, and it's as much as I'm sure you would love to have it like day one, it's an expense, and two, sometimes you don't even know what you need until you're there. Exactly. And then you see it, you're like, man, if I didn't have to open 16 boxes to get to stuff, or it just, you open it up, cool, here's, left side control arms, here's right side control arms, already ready to go. We just pull them off, throw them on the car, instead of having to open up 2 boxes to build the kit and then throw it on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you cannot just buy experience. You have to live to get experience.
That's a good point.
So that's what we're doing.
I wonder if that will provide a better career than maybe a driver who just shows up and drives, right?
It's hard for me to tell, but what I can tell you is that from where I came from, back when I was in karting, I was like 8 years old. I remember my dad bringing my kart in the Econo line, because the Econo line was his working truck too. So he was bringing the kart, and I learned really quickly how to change my engine on the kart. It's like 15 minutes, so it's not crazy. But I learned that really early. I learned to change my gears. I learned to change my tires, and all those little stuff I think made a big difference when I was on the track, because I was really able to understand more what was happening with my kart. And also sometimes, and that's more the money side, but sometimes we didn't have enough money to put brand new tires. So we were running with like the tires that let's say Lance Stroll, these guys, the rich guys, they were putting like the tires in the trash. So we were bringing these tires, put them on. So I always had to do the little extra effort in order to perform at the same as the others. So I think for myself, it made a good difference, and having the hard way to learn made myself more determined. So I'm not saying that a driver who didn't do that will not be as successful, because let's say Iroya Minoya is putting the hour, but in a different way. He has the tools available, and he used them the right way. He used the sim like a crazy amount of time per day, which is good. So I think he's still gonna be as good. But from where I come from, back in the days in karting, it was making a difference, because I remember some of the young guy, they were just like not as motivated as myself. And probably today, that's why I'm still in the game in Formula Drift. So if I have a child, if I had like a child in one day in my life, I will want him to be in Iroya position for sure, because that's a really, really good position. It's awesome. Yeah. But also sometimes having to learn the hard way can also motivate yourself to stay in the game as long as possible. So both ways
that's
work.
Fair.
But that's the way I lived with.
I could not imagine the joy of beating Lance Stroll on his own scrub tires, though.
Yeah. That was. No, honestly, we had some crazy story about that. That was funny. Once we
go for it. Any Lance Stroll story you want to share, I am 100% here for it.
It was not Lance, but it was somebody else. They sold us an old go-kart. Some of the people sometimes were changing cars after like a season. Some of them were changing chassis after like 2 races, because a chassis is getting softer every race. So when the rich, really, really rich, wanted to be as fast as possible, they were changing chassis every 2 races, which is crazy.
Wow.
So we had a driver that sold us a kart that had 1 season. That was the closest to a brand new kart I had in my life. So I was like, this is awesome. This is crazy. And I did the first race, really, really good. I did the second race, and the owner that sold us the kart went back to see us and he says, "Hey, can I buy back the cart?" And my dad was like, "Well, why? Like, no." And he said, "Well, like there was definitely something with this cart because like Tommy is doing really well, you know." And my dad was like, "Well, I'm not really selling you the cart, you know, unless you want to exchange it with a brand new cart, which will be your loss." So at the end, he asked like, "Well, can I bring my balance and my scales, sorry, and put the cart on the scales with Tommy in it and see what's the weight?" And my dad said, "Well, yeah, we never did it. Like the only way we positioned the seat at this time was for myself to be comfortable. Like we were not at the level yet of like putting the seat at the position where it optimized the weight distribution. So it was just funny to see like how like other people thought that, you know, the cart or this or that was making the difference, when at the end it was just really like we were all kids and some of us were just more motivated and like had more vision about it.
So is that like Nicholas Latifi's dad then that did that? Or
I'm not gonna say that's too specific of a story, but yeah, I did do also Latifi, Zachary.
I know.
Zachary Clement Di Mello, which did the IndyCar, awesome driver too. Even
little young for Tony Hinchcliffe. So
yeah. So it was just cool to grow up in this environment and see like being exposed to the big setup in order to be not sensitive about it. You see what I mean? Not jealous or not envious. I see that and I'm like, well, that's what I'm going against. Cool. Good for him. If I had the chance to get the same setup, the same pit car, the same car, I would just take it. Now I don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm going to work with that and it's just fine. And I think the less focus you put on those negativity, the more positive you have on your driving and on the good stuff, you know? So I'm all about being cool with each other.
Yeah, it's just something you run into with any hobby, is like there's going to be people in that hobby with more money than you. It's just how it goes, right? And it's very easy to look at and be like, oh, it must be nice. Like, but like, yeah, I'm sure it is really nice. And, you know, there's nobody that's going to sit there and be like, yeah, if I had the money, I wouldn't take it. Like, listen, we're all going to take it. Yeah. Let's be perfectly honest. Like, if my dad was rich, I mean, I probably would have played a higher level of hockey because, like, you know, we could afford something other than house league. Yeah. Like, you know, and that's just the thing. Now, if I was truly talented, which I'm not, I would have played a higher level of house league or a higher level of hockey because someone would have seen me and been like, oh, this kid's too good for house league. So you can still get there based on pure talent and will. The other thing too is if I would have practiced more, I probably could have gone further, but I just didn't care that much about hockey back in the day. So
yeah, exactly. So it's it's really cool, and I think I don't know where I was going. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. We were talking about just rich people in racing, I think is where we're at, and making fun of Lance Stroll.
So it's cool. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is sometimes I also put myself in someone else's skins, because the normal fan that comes to one FD event, the one close to his home, let's say New Jersey, he comes and he sees me and he's like, he has a Corvette C7 for drift car. You know, it doesn't make sense. Like so sometimes I'm like, I see the big setups and I'm like, that's cool. You know, I wish I had that and it's awesome. But I know that also where I brought myself to is also really cool. And I should not like say like, oh, I don't have the good tools. No, I also have the good tools and I'm working crazy hard to get those good tools. And some people at the beginning of the season said, well, you're drifting with a C7 and you have another C7 for practice. Like, no way you're not like a rich dad and stuff like this. And I'm like, well, it might look like that, but like my Corvette, I bought it like no title, not no title, but the one that was crashed, you know, a Corvette that is salvage title. and it didn't cost a lot. And I built most of the stuff on like at the time. Like the more I work, the more I have money. The more money I have, the more I put into the program. It's basically just how it goes. And doing that for the last 10 years brought me to that spot. So sometimes if I look to a guy who has a big setup, let's say Stucky. Stucky has a really nice rig. Setup is really cool. And I will never be like, oh, he must be have rich parents or whatever. No, because he probably worked for the last 10 years having this setup, and now he has it, and it's really cool, and he must be proud of him, and I'm proud of what he has. So I learned to not judge, not judge on the first thing you see, because lots of people see myself driving a Corvette, and they're like, well, a Corvette is like worth 3 times the price of a S chassis, But it's
I don't know about that anymore. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
But once we've built it, it's all the same. You can put like $100,000 in a S chassis or a Corvette. It's the same at the end. It's just like metal and a tube and a big engine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I the other part with that too is like, a lot of people have a lot of dumb stuff they spend money on, and they don't realize that they're spending money on dumb stuff. Like, do you have any hobbies outside of drifting and work? Like, do you have anywhere else you're spending your time or money outside of drifting or work?
Yeah, I bought myself a boat this summer. So.
Oh, that's a money hole, but yeah.
I mean, like sometimes you have to, put the helmet here and just go have fun on the water. So that's my.
I guess what I'm getting at though is like people spend a lot of money in dumb spots and don't realize that like you're kind of blowing it everywhere, whereas like you guys are just spending it on really big expensive things. Plus you have great partners, so there's a fair bit going through that, and you've been doing this forever. So like if you were to walk into this studio and look at it, it would be immediately like, oh shit, must be nice. And it's like, well, that camera I bought 10 years ago, like this monitor is 3 years old. Like it's not cheap, but like, it's also not like I went out and bought all brand new stuff yesterday. This has been bad spending for years that has gotten me to this point. And for you, it's the same. It's like, you haven't had a truck, you have an older trailer, you put the money into those cars, but whether it's a Crash or Copar or whatever else, like it's not like you went onto a lot and went, cool, give me $200,000 cars, I'm going to wreck them and turn them into drift cars, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's just where you put your money. How many people are sitting on 2 car payments right now, a brand new iPhone that they're going to pay for the next 2 years. Their insurance is crazy high. They eat out 4 nights a week. Like
clothes.
Those are all
clothes is crazy.
Yeah, clothes.
Like, my girlfriend is almost mad at me because the only clothes I have is like a sponsored shirt.
Dude.
So she's like, all right, we're going to the restaurant. Let's put something nice. I'm like, well, that's black. That's good.
Yeah. Do you want VP or Fast Wheels?
Yeah.
Like which one would you like me to wear?
Yeah, that's all the clothes I have.
Yeah, that's a solid one. I mean, I have so many event T-shirts now. I'm not sure what to do with them.
Yeah.
Like
one that is really cool is the one from Drift Legend. You probably got, this one is cool.
Yeah,
but
there's a few I won't get rid of, but like there's so many that I'm like I might just like start randomly. I donate a lot of them, to be honest. I'll give them to Goodwill, and and then I couldn't imagine some kid who's like family's having a hard time and they get like a drift shirt. Like maybe we made a drift fan because we took our old event shirts and sponsor shirts and gave them to people who actually need them.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I have this like dream that like some kid will get, an old Gottsbill shirt or something and be like, what's Gottsbill? Like Google it, and then like next thing they know, they're like the next big drifter, all because they got it in a Goodwill.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of neat. Yeah, you never know. Could happen. Cool. Any other like updates? Anything else you want to cover? Anything else cool happening next year?
I'm definitely going to be back next year. So that's a question that sometimes they ask, and yeah, I'm gonna be there because I think it took me a good year to develop the car, and now I feel like we're getting somewhere with the car. So it's not the time to to stop for myself. So next year I think it's gonna be more where I would have start with my S chassis this year, but it's gonna be with a car that it holds together and that is solid and fast and looks good. And so C7 is gonna be, and
Sick.
I'm gonna keep pretty much the same color, but I'm gonna change the livery for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
More purple?
Well, pretty much the same color, but not the same livery. Just different.
Okay.
Make a change
Okay.
a little bit. And think that's cool. I'm gonna have a nice. It's because I'm working on it right now as we speak, but I'm gonna have a nice pit card, and I'm so excited to work on that because those are.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm excited to see it. I'll send you over the files for this organizational system. Maybe you'll get into it.
Yeah, that would be cool because MT Custom Light, who did my 3D printed headlights and taillights, he's like big on 3D printed stuff. So we could definitely do something cool with that.
I guarantee he already knows about this. There's two big organizational systems in 3D printing. One's called Gridfinity, which is all like, I have a bunch of shelves with it, but it's like little bins and everything like lines up on a big grid. And then multi-board, which is like a vertical version of it.
Nice.
So anyways, I'm same thing. I'm really, really big into 3D printing again. I just got a new printer. So I'm like,
oh, nice.
It's like, it's like right there too. It's like right behind the camera.
Cool.
The only time
how big does it make the piece?
It's 340 by 340 by 340 millimeters. So like, it's good size.
Yeah, that's good.
I could probably do one of your headlights. Like if you ever need it, I could probably fit it in there.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a Creality K2 Plus, if anybody listening cares, but just big unit. Everything works. It's got multi-filament. So like you can do different colors and different stuff like that. So you can do some really fun stuff with it.
Oh, that's awesome. And we are so passionate about like other little stuff that like
I know
goes around the drifting, and it's so awesome. But I would like also to just like say thank you to my team, because it's not being on the podium doesn't allow you to address like the how much you're thankful to your team. When you're in the podium, it's easy to say thank you to my team, but now that's like the platform I have. So I just want to say that I have an awesome team, awesome girlfriend also at home that supports me in this crazy life, this crazy project. So it's really cool. And thanks to the fans, this year I got like lots of newcomers, new fans that probably also didn't knew me before that, since I'm in pro. But I think the C7 with the sound, the crazy engine sound that I make on the track, it brings lots of people to myself, and this is just cool. If I can bring more people into the sport and being a fan, well, that's one thing really cool I've done.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we all need to do is just keep making more drift fans, because that's what keeps all this alive. So
yeah,
sick, dude. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome catching up. We caught up a little bit at Shoreline, but I'm glad we did this. It's awesome.
Yeah.
For everybody listening and watching at home, please make sure to check out all Tommy's socials. If you need your oil tank changed and you're in Quebec, I got a guy for you. Or keep an eye out for very, very small batch maple syrup, also phenomenal. But yeah, we'll catch everybody next week. I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.